Hi everyone, welcome to Rachelpichleryoga. My name is Rachel. Today we're doing a 30-minute full body stretch and I'm going to pull out all of my props today. So if you are able to find a strap of some kind, that could be a tie, a long sock, a towel, anything that is going to make your arms a little longer, find that. And of course, if you have nothing to work with today, I will give you options. If you've got a block of some kind, or a box of some kind that's about this size. We're going to use that for one thing as well. And of course, if you have nothing to work with, I will give you options. And then lastly here, a cushion, maybe a pillow off your bed, off your couch, I don't know, something soft that you can lay on. Just an option. If you have nothing to work with, I will give you options. So that is it, you guys. Find just a little bit of space to move. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. And let's get started. All right, you guys, we are going to begin laying down today. So if you have nothing at all to lay on, you're just going to lay flat on your back. And if you've got a pillow or even a block that you want to lay on, you can start to bring that behind you. I suggest bringing it underneath your upper back more so than your low back, unless it's a really long pillow like the one I'm laying on. But I just want you to be able to have your hips touching the ground and your shoulders touching something and your head touching something. So if you need to slide your pillow up so it's under your head, under your shoulders, you can adjust that pillow. And then I love to bring the soles of my feet together and my knees out wide here. It's a really awesome stretch for the hips, Supta Baddha Konasana. But if it's not comfortable for you, feel free to have your legs out long. Or you could even have your knees bent and your feet planted. I just want you to get nice and comfy here for a few moments. And if your arms are out to your sides, just flip your palms to face up. And just starting to slow down the breath. Relaxing through your shoulders, through the legs, the hips. And just start to settle in here. Let go of your day. Whatever you have to do after this class, forget about it for a moment. Awesome, you guys. We're going to take just a few more breaths here. If you do want to reach your arms above your head, if you are lifted, if your chest is lifted, it's a nice stretch for the shoulders. But again, if it's too much or it's uncomfortable, just bring your arms back to your sides. Soften everywhere. Nice. If your arms are above your head, take one more inhale with them there. And as you exhale, slide your arms back to your sides. Nice, you guys. Start to wiggle your fingers a little bit. You can even wiggle your toes. We're just going to be bringing our knees together and our feet to the mat. So bending the legs if you haven't already. If you're laying up on something, I want to get you just to sit up or roll to the side a little bit. Take that cushion out from under you and then find your strap. Find your strap and lay back down nice and flat. Nice job, you guys. All right, so we're going to take our strap. If you have something And we're gonna send the right foot up into the air. So now if you don't have a strap or a sock to use, you're just gonna hang on to the back of your leg. That's it. You're just gonna hang on to the back of your leg, bend that leg, find out where you can grab onto it. And if you've got a strap or a long sock, a tie, even a belt is awesome. Place it right under your toes on the ball of your foot. And then you can just keep your shoulders and your head, everything relaxed. If you want a little more, you can straighten the left leg out long. And so we're feeling this all through the back of that lifted leg. So play with it till you find that hamstring and calf stretch. And if you don't have a strap and you're hanging onto the back of your leg, just try to flex the foot. Pull the toes towards the forehead just to add a little bit more length. Awesome, you guys. So hanging onto that strap here or your leg, we're just gonna tip that leg and that foot over towards the left. So it's like it's coming in line with the left shoulder, but the right hip is gonna stay down on the mat. So just let your leg kind of fall to the left a little. And then if you need more, maybe you're starting to feel this through the outside of your leg and even into that glute. But if you want a little more, just encourage your toes towards the top of your mat or towards that left shoulder. Nice, you guys. And with that foot just kind of over to the left, I want you to start to bring it back to the middle of your chest. And then out just towards that right shoulder a little bit. So not very far, just a small movement. Let the leg kind of shift to the right a little. And then if you need more, you're just going to pull your toes towards the top of your mat or towards your right shoulder. Feeling this maybe now through the inner leg. Awesome, you guys. Slowly let your foot just trickle back to center, legs going straight up, and then let's bend that knee. Take your strap off of your foot. You can bend that right leg and plant your foot on the mat for a second, but I want you to straighten the left leg out long if you haven't already. Set your strap off to the side. And let's pull the right knee in towards the chest. Give it a nice big hug. And if you want to lift your shoulders and tap your nose or kiss your knee, give that knee a nice big hug. And then you can stay here hugging the knee in. Or if you want to twist, start to pull your knee across your body. And this time, let the right hip lift, but keep the right shoulder down. So wiggle around so that right shoulder's still down, but the right hip might be lifted. And then if you do want a little bit of support, you could take your block or your pillow or something and just place it under your knee. And then enjoy that twist. Nice job, you guys. If you are twisting, we're going to use a nice big inhale to lift the leg back up, dropping that right hip to the mat. Grab onto your shin or your knee. Maybe kiss your knee again or tap your nose or just give that knee a nice big hug. And then start to let that right leg go out nice and long, or you can just keep your knees bent and your feet planted. We're going to switch sides though. So finding your strap if you've got one. Left leg going up into the air, so maybe hanging onto the back of your leg. Flexing your foot all on your own. Still an awesome stretch. Or using that strap right under those toes. with the option to straighten the right leg. Playing with it until you find that really great stretch all through the back of this lifted leg. Nice, you guys. Okay. Taking that little movement with this leg. The left hip's going to stay down, but just let the leg kind of fall towards the right a little, in line with that right shoulder. Maybe those toes are. If you need a little more, you just try to bring your toes forwards to the top of your mat. Feel that stretch through that IT band all up the outside of that leg. Awesome, you guys. Using an inhale, slowly let the leg come back to center. And then gently out to that left side, so not too far. But if you want more, just encourage your toes again towards the top of your mat. Nice job, you guys. Letting your leg come back to center. And then let's gently bend that knee. Place your strap off to the side. Let the left foot touch down for a second so you can start to straighten the right leg if you haven't already. Coming for that nice big hug of that left knee. Maybe tapping your nose to it. And then if you want that twist, you're going to pull your knee across your body to that right side. And remember that the hip can lift this time. The left hip can lift, but keep the left shoulder down. Nice job, you guys. Use a big inhale if you're twisting. Let the leg come back out. Give it one last big hug. And then you can start to let go of the legs. Maybe walk the feet in for a second. Take a moment. And then we're just going to be turning all the way over onto our tummies. So you can roll on over. If you've got a block or some sort of pasta box to use, find it. Again, I'll give you a couple options here though. So we're coming onto our stomach. We are going to stretch the front of our neck. So option one, if you want to be really gentle, you can just rest your chin on the mat, creating some length through the front of the neck. If you want a little bit more and you don't have a block, you can just bring your elbows down, rest your chin or your jawline in your palms. And just relaxing through the jaw. That's a really good option. If you don't have a block, it's just as good. I'm going to use my block for this though. So I like to lean it away just a little bit to make that angle a little nicer. If you've got a block or something like this, you might have a couple different heights to work with. And just gently place the chin on top. Start to soften your shoulders. And if you're able to balance whatever you're leaning on, you could reach your arms out unless your hands are holding up your chin. Awesome, you guys. Gently, gently. We're gonna let that go. So just lift your chin just enough to take your hands or your block out from under you. Rest your forehead back down. Finding some length in the neck. Nice, you guys. When you're feeling good, we're going to bring our hands under our shoulders and just push ourselves up onto our hands and knees. Moving into our shoulders. So we're going to do half a puppy dog today. I'm really loving this stretch this week. So reaching your right arm out nice and long, and then you're going to drop your forehead down, or maybe rest your right cheek or ear, and then start to lower your chest as well. So we're keeping our hips high here. Think about bringing your bicep nice and close to your head. And if you've got nice tight shoulders, you might need to bring your bicep a little further away, bending your elbow. And just allow your chest to be heavy. This left hand can stay here to support you from going too far. Or you can rest it on your low back if you don't want it to stop you. But just listen to that right shoulder. Only go as far as you need to get a nice stretch. Nice job, you guys. Stay for another breath. And then using an inhale, start to lift your head, lift your chest, slide that right arm all the way in. If you want to sit on your heels for a second, maybe take a nice big shoulder roll. And then we're going to set up the other side. So left arm reaching forwards, big reach. Think about that bicep coming right beside your head as you drop it down. Maybe resting your cheek instead of your forehead. Let your chest be heavy. And then if you wanted that right hand on the low back, just an option. Nice job, you guys. When you're ready, just using an inhale, gently lift yourself back up and take a couple shoulder rolls if you need it, if you want it. Awesome, you guys. And then we're just going to take child's pose here, but I want you to bring your knees together, your feet together, and then sit back on your heels. We're going to bring our forehead all the way down, but if your forehead doesn't want to touch, you can rest it on something if you have something to work with. And then just bring your arms to your sides and flip your palms to face up. So that pillow under your forehead might stop you from going a little further. But we're just trying to make a nice little ball with our body. And just soften the shoulders here. And just letting it all go and using an inhale when you're ready to lift yourself back up. Awesome, you guys. We're going to move into a lunge, into our hip flexor next. So I'm going to keep my pillow under me for this one, I think, but you don't have to. Just a little bit of extra balance, I suppose, support. So let's bring our right foot forwards and set up a lunge. So your left knee will stay down, the top of that left foot will stay down, and then you just want to kind of stagger that back knee into a place where you feel that nice, lovely hip flexor. And maybe you have something under you just to help you balance. Sending those hips forwards. Awesome, you guys. And I know a lot of times it's really easy to find the hip flexor. For a lot of people, especially people like to run or that you're sitting a lot or whatever. We have nice, tight hip flexors. So if you can find this stretch, no problem. Feel free to ignore what I'm saying, but just something to think about. Let me move this. So just think about encouraging that back knee and your heel towards one another. Just a little engagement. You're not actually moving the knee or the foot. You're just gently encouraging them towards each other. And does that deepen the stretch like crazy? Nice, you guys. So good. Everything's feeling really awesome today. Awesome job, you guys. Okay. Gently send those hips back. Just enough to take that hip flexor stretch away. Maybe a quick little half splits. And then we're just going to switch sides so you can send the right knee back, left leg forwards. I'll just skip adding my cushion under me for this side. But untuck those back toes. Keep your knee down on your mat. And if you have any discomfort in your knee, you can always roll your mat over. But finding that nice, deep lunge. And then if you wanted that little extra, what happens when you try to encourage your heel and your back knee towards one another? And they're not actually moving. Just a little engagement. A micro movement, I suppose. Awesome job, you guys. Slowly letting the hips just go back. Release that hip flexor. Maybe a quick half split, hamstring stretch. And then we're going to send that left leg all the way back. We're going to stay on our hands and knees for a little bit longer, but if you need to just take a second, take a second. And then our palms are going to come down to the mat. You can turn your fingers to point out to the sides if you'd like. Getting into the forearms, if you're able to keep turning your fingers to point straight back towards your knees, you can go there. Feel free to do one hand at a time. Feeling those wrists and feeling those forearms. Let your head be heavy. Awesome, you guys. If you're doing one hand, I want you to switch sides. If you're doing both, just stay a little longer. Awesome, you guys are going to gently start to take the weight out of the wrists, and we're going to do our counter stretch. So you're just going to bring the top of your hand down. See if you can get your fingers to point towards your knees or maybe to the middle. Just bending your wrists the other way. Nice and gentle here. And if you're doing one hand, just switch sides. And if you're doing both, stay for another breath. Awesome, you guys. Starting to let that go. Give yourself a little wrist massage. Okay, I want to do one more shoulder twist stretch. All right, so we're going to be on our knees to start. And bring your knees out a little bit wider. So we're going to take our left shoulder and bring it towards the right knee. So that's where the twist comes from. That left shoulder is trying to come as close to that right knee as you can get it, but also it's trying to come down towards the floor. So that's kind of the twist. That's kind of the shoulder stretch. And you're going to keep your hips high for this one. And then you can take that right hand, if it's available, if it's free, and just kind of walk it behind your head. And that's going to give you more of a twist. And if it just so happens that you're now looking at the ceiling, that's perfect. Just pulling that right shoulder back. Awesome, you guys. We're going to use an inhale to gently come out of this. Take your hands to the mat for a second. Just give yourself a little wiggle. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see the view from this side. My back loves this pose. It just feels so good. So if you're feeling it a lot through the back, and not so much the shoulder, if you're feeling it all over, good. Just be gentle with the neck and only go as far as you need to feel something. So knees out a little wider. All right, we're going to take our right shoulder towards our left knee this time. So the closer you can get it, I guess the easier it is to get that twist, but don't worry about it if it doesn't touch. But we're just trying to drop the right shoulder all the way to the floor, as well as the head. Nice, you guys, and keep those hips high. And maybe taking the left hand and walking it behind your head. Awesome, you guys. Using an inhale to very slowly start to lift yourself back up. You can find your hands and knees. You can do a little wiggle side to side. Or you can start to have a seat and lay all the way down onto your back. If you're feeling that, you might want to give yourself a little rock side to side. And I just want you guys to give yourselves the opportunity to take Savasana today. And I highly encourage you to stay here for as long as you have time for. Finding any position that you can relax your entire body. That might be corpse pose, letting everything go out long. Nice, you guys. And as you start to settle in, I want you just to bring your hands behind your head and pull your chin towards your collarbone. And then gently resting your head back down. And letting your arms come back to your sides. Yawn. And I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, namaste.